It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America, we are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Good morning, and thank you for being here. All right, we're here to a Friday. Got to clear the desk off here. All right, this last hour. So this must be because I'm just an old man, because I don't relate to this and I don't buy it. But this is what the new survey from Resume Templates says.
Okay.
That, and this would be for Gen Z full-time workers, which would be Gen Z from 18 to 28 years of age. Okay?
All right.
Now, these are currently full-time workers in that age group for Gen Z.
All right.
A majority of Gen Z job seekers are reportedly relying on their parents to navigate the job hunt, according to a July 2025 survey from Resume Templates. 77% of Gen Z respondents admitted to bringing a parent to a job interview. I don't know where to go from even that. I'll throw off the rest of the statistics, but
yeah,
77% of Gen Z respondents admitted to bringing a parent to a job interview. Now, I just have to be, it's time for me to retire if that's true, because I can't buy that, which means I'm completely out of touch. I'm totally and completely out of touch. I don't have a clue.
I'm thinking, if I called my dad and said, "Hey, Dad, I got this lead on a great new job. Good luck" are the only words he'd give me.
Well, you're not in Gen Z, but
well,
you are a fully grown man.
That's my point. Well, as far as I know, Gen Z, they're adults, aren't they?
Yeah, because you'd be full-time Gen Zers, full-time workers.
Yeah, okay. So I can't imagine a time in my life when he would be. That's the whole point. I can't imagine anybody in our generation even thinking along those lines.
Well, my belief would be they'd hurt my chances. I don't want my parents talking to them. My parents know me. That's the last reference I would have wanted, because they would, I'm sure, talk to the hiring manager. They'd ask you questions about you, and if my parents told the truth, I'm not getting the job.
Yeah,
in my youth, But
I don't get it.
77% of Gen Z respondents admitted to bringing a parent to a job interview. 53% said their parent had spoken with the hiring manager on their behalf. I did everything possible in my life to keep my parents away from open house when I went to junior high and high school, and I don't think they ever made one. Now, I would have been out of it if I would have been in high school today, and my parents would have gone to every single parent-teacher conference because they would have known about it. Back in my day, Gary, bring home this letter to your parents and let them know that open house and the parent-teacher conference is 2 weeks from Thursday. Do you believe that my parents ever got that letter? No.
When I started school, my mom started working at the school as a teacher's assistant.
Oh.
So the times that we lived on base, and my dad was chief of police on base, my mom's a teacher's assistant at the school. I couldn't get out of their eye. There was no, they were watching over me every second. And they weren't being helicopter parents. They were just doing their job.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine ever, well, my first job, mowing a lawn, the first thing I did to earn money. I did that completely on my own. That was on the Air Force Base. And so my parents felt safe with me taking my mower around and knocking on doors. And I got a couple of lawns, and I did all that myself. And then, the whole idea was to gain that independence. If you're in a position where you're in an interview and you say the words, I want to defer to my mother on this. Mom, where do you see me in 5 years? Then you're not going to be going places.
All right, let me go through some of the things in the survey here because we have to go through each and every one of them because they're great or pitiful.
Well,
77% of Gen Z respondents admitted to bringing a parent to a job interview. 53% said their parent had spoken with a hiring manager on their behalf. Now, remember, Gen Z is 13 to 28, but this only applies to those that are 18 to 28 because these are people that have full-time jobs. Mm-hmm. The dependence persists when young people enter the workforce, with 73% of respondents saying they've had their parents help complete work assignments, and 45% report regularly having a parent talk to their current boss.
Hey, Mom, could you take the drive-through for me for a second?
I love this one. These behaviors reportedly translate to a perceived lack of preparedness and professionalism in the workplace. A Resume.org survey of 765 hiring managers found that 56% encountered unprepared applicants, 47% cited candidates lacked professionalism, 11% witnessed Gen Z candidates bringing a parent, partner, or friend to an interview. 1 in 6 hiring managers also reported Gen Z applicants using their phone during the interview. Experts warn that such behavior hinders professional credibility.
You think?
In an interview with Campus Reform, career consultant Julia Toothaker said she was shocked to hear the statistics about Gen Z bringing parents to interviews or having a parent talk to a boss or a hiring manager. They're just not as prepared for the world. She's worked with thousands of clients over the past decade, attributed some of the problematic behavior among young people to a lack of critical development experience. She cited technology and the pandemic as potential reasons, leading to a lack of social skills among Gen Z, which she says translate to a lack of preparedness in the workforce. Well, but even if you're unprepared, I don't know a job that I was really ever fully prepared for. But the last thing I'm going to do is, Dad, could you talk to my boss?
Well, by the way, this shouldn't be shocking to anyone. If you look at the indoctrination and the fact that years ago we quit keeping score on the playground in the ball field, we quit. Everybody gets a trophy. You get a passing grade just for showing up. Then, of course, by the time they get to the front door of a prospective employer, they're going to be fully unprepared for the real world.
It was when I said the other day, because I've told this story before, and somebody wrote to me and they said, that's terrible. Because I had mentioned that was this when we were talking? Yeah, that's right. That's when I was talking about, because when I was, my hair's gone from blonde to more brown, silver, gray, but I have blue eyes, and we were we were doing the stupid eugenics thing, and I said, well, wait a minute. I had blonde hair and blue eyes. I must be genetically superior. And then went into the entire thing that, well, not physically, because I was cut from every single athletic team that I ever tried out for. Except one, and that's the guy who didn't cut. He didn't cut. He said, if you can hack it, you can be on the team. But every single one that cut, I was cut. Every single little league team I was cut from. Not high school, little league. And they said, that must have been terrible. I don't know. When I look back at my life, probably one of the best things that ever happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
To have, well, that's terrible for a young person. I remember my mom telling me, she said, we felt so bad for you because you were so small and scrawny, and you would try out and you just, you'd do it, you'd work for a week, you go out there and they wouldn't even give you a chance because you were just too small. Okay, you're gone. And then you come home and you'd be devastated, but 15 minutes later after you cried, you'd be out there throwing the ball again. Failure I never took it personally.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I took it personally in that I've got to do better, but I didn't take it to the point where, okay, this means I can't do what I want in life. It made me, I think, more stubborn probably to say I'm going to do it no matter what. But when I look back, I think that's one of the best things that ever happened to me. And it was dozens upon dozens upon dozens of times. Think about it. By the time I was probably 8, 9 years old trying out, by the time I'm 14 or 15, I don't know, it might have been 40, 50 times.
Yeah.
Little League.
Yeah. Right.
Sorry, you can't play Little League. The only thing I can think of is these adult men coaches watching this little kid cry as he walks away. Them going, all right, where's the next one? Come on, next up to the meat market, over here. Get your butt in there. Kill him.
Yeah. Yeah, it again, it was just the opposite. The idea was I need to achieve so I can show my parents, my parents would be proud of me, my family would be proud of me, but you have to earn that. I can't imagine taking friends, partners, and parents to a job interview.
Your girlfriend.
I can't imagine being in a place where you think that's a good idea.
I know.
Did they even get dressed? Did they show up in pajamas?
Did they put their pants on?
There's still a lot of that generation that just walks around in pajamas all day in public where other people can see them.
Son, you've got your pajamas on. This is a job interview. Well, yeah, but they're Dr. Denton's. They got the padded feet.
Well, if you're wearing noise reduction headphones during a job interview, you clearly don't get it. That's the problem that it's you're just tuning out, you're handing it. Well, just send your dad.
Now, my dad, when I got the janitor job, my dad happened to be at the place and saw the opening and talked to the person. My son might be interested.
Yeah.
And then he came home and said, there's a job. And then I went up by myself to do it.
Right.
He just saw the job. And so, but, and besides that, the only other thing is when my second job as a machinist. And my brother told me to go in because legacy. If you were from a machinist family, they just, this was Worthington Compressors in South Buffalo and Steelworkers Union. And it was funny because you met with the boss and the representative from the Steelworkers Union. And so my brother was a good machinist, so they just assumed I was, and they hired me like that.
Yeah.
That was the easiest job I ever got. They just assumed, but it was true, though. I mean, it was, and so my brother wasn't in the interview with me, but he saw the opening. He goes, hey, my brother's a machinist. He just got laid off, and they said, bring him in. I got hired in 5 seconds. And, but again, That's not the same as bringing him with you to the interview.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. I just can't imagine that.
Well, I didn't want to, when we lived on base, I didn't want to apply for a part-time job with my name. My dad was chief of police. And I thought, people are going to think that I deserve this job because my dad is who he is.
Wow. That's a great point.
And I didn't want that.
866-90-RED-EYE.
This morning's USDA Farm Report is brought to you by House Products. Tested, trusted, guaranteed since 1920.
Saturday is the official birth date.
All right, we're going to light some candles. We're going to sing happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Yet Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins, U.S. Forest Service personnel, and the audience at the Wednesday edition of the Great American Farmers Market took opportunity to wish Happy Birthday, dear Smokey, to the symbol of wildfire prevention, the character of Smokey, and the Joint Forest Service, Ag Council, State Foresters Campaign supporting Smokey's cause is 81 years old this year, with the message consistent over that time.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
And according to Forest Service historian Lincoln Bramwell,
it's been going continuously since 1944. There were no breaks where it was abandoned for a decade and reintroduced. It's the single longest continual ESA announcement in U.S. history.
I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
This report brought to you by Cenex Fuels and Lubes.
We'll be right back with more Red Eye Radio with Eric Harley and Gary McNamara.
We are Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. I just thought of something. I've got a friend of mine, younger friend of mine, who long time to get a job, but actually an executive, and as smart as you can get, as articulate, as hardworking, critical thinker, unbelievable. Hire this person in a second. I noticed it took them. They were out of a job for like 6 months. That's pretty long. Then when this person got a job, they posted it on X, and I went to congratulate them, and by accident, I hit their homepage. This person is a conservative and had their pronouns on it. And I just went, do they have any idea? Remember that study that was done? And that goes back a year ago.
Yeah.
That it was like 60 or 70% of human resources people will automatically reject you if you have your personal pronouns on there.
Yeah.
And I have not talked to this person yet, but when I do, I'm going to question them and said, why did you do that? I mean, it's not political with them. I know it's not. It's not political.
Right.
It's like, I don't think, they're, I'm going to guess, so busy looking for a job, so busy always working and working, just saw that and went, oh, okay, that's what people must be doing. Saw other people doing it and did it with no idea. And I really wonder, was that one of the reasons that it took this person who I'd hire in a second? That's how good this person is for anything. This person can adapt to whatever. I'm like, personal pronouns? And I went, wow. Do they have any idea? Now, a lot younger than me. So, again, we know that. Are there people out there that don't know? You want a job, you don't do that.
Well, because they don't want an activist working for them.
Right.
And they're going to think that you're quite possibly an activist.
Daytime is overrated. Nights are where it's at with Gary and Eric on Red Eye Radio.
And he is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Welcome and good morning. All right, let's clear the desk off here in the next half hour.
All right.
Did you see the story about that massive data center that was supposed to be in southern Arizona in the Tucson area? That basically they defeated the massive data center project. And this is interesting. Over water concerns, which of course is Arizona, but also electricity concerns. They don't believe they have enough electricity to run a data center.
Yeah, right.
Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not going to have, they won't have, if you don't have the power bases. By the way, I don't know why they didn't do the research to begin with. To know that you're not going to have the power necessary. In order to get the power necessary, it's a huge, huge uphill battle. That's a whole other set of regulatory issues.
They talked to one council member who said, in addition to water use, was a problem because of energy use. We know we've got to have the data centers. They're coming.
Yeah.
And it's like, we can't trust that we have enough energy. This is, you think about it in civilization. You look back the history books, and by the way, the history books may not be done by historians. We saw that. That's the one job that will be eliminated by AI is historians, which may even concern me more.
Actually, I don't know what AI's version of history is going to be.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a great concern.
But if you look at history looks back at it saying, were these people idiots? So they decided it would be a good idea. Let's see if we got this straight here. They decided it'd be a good idea if they got rid of their consistent, reliable forms of energy and tried to run a, antiquated, prehistoric 2025.
Yeah.
Because they're looking at it from the future. 2025 economy on windmills and solar panels. What did these idiots? Did they have did they have school back then? Did they know that solar panels only work during the day, and if the wind doesn't blow, the windmills don't work? Did they have any? Was there any? Now, did children make this decision? I can see the historians looking at this as they're having the conference. All the historians. Were children running? Was this like a Star Trek episode where the children were running everything? Were running society? Oh, no, these are full functioning adults? What, were they nuts? Wait a minute. Let's go back. Hey, the drug historian, when did they legalize that, the wacky weed? And was there any correlation between when they decided to do something this stupid and they legalized weed at the same time?
That's going to be the huge asterisk from the AI timeline on history. Pre-weed, post-weed.
The data center was tied to Amazon. It's just amazing. But they said, nope, sorry. Water, and even more important, we don't believe we have the electricity in order to run. There is no reason that we don't have plentiful, cheap electricity for everyone.
Well,
and make a great profit off it.
Who was it? Was it DuPont that announced they're going to have their own little mini nuke power nuke plant and it's going to be for their own manufacturing. And they think that's the wave of the future, that if you want to set up manufacturing, you're going to have to basically have your own power plant on site.
Yeah. Oh, and thanks to our listeners, because we were talking about 2 days ago, I believe, what type of, nuclear plant would you put on the moon and how small would it be? Because it doesn't put a lot of power. How small can they make them? Thanks to the number of people that sent me the nuke in a box.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more than just a box, but the one I was looking at looked like it probably, was maybe 50 feet by 50 feet.
Right.
It wasn't like a major, huge plant. And so just wanting to look at the technology of that all, which in itself is fascinating. But they're talking about that, Eric, yeah.
It was Dow, not DuPont, but Dow, looking to do this. And ultimately, if you're going to do that, now, I don't know there's the cost analysis. What is the cost analysis? In terms of building that facility to have on-site power generated. And then, of course, there's going to be it's got to be a regulatory nightmare. Because you got to get that by the locals.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, I don't know what, if they're going to go the nuke, route, that's going to be, and then beyond that, you've got to be a good steward coming into the community, right? The whole thing to begin with on regulatory stuff locally is a handshake, but it's a series of handshakes.
Well, then again, if you're Amazon or Elon Musk wants to build a mini nuke plant for whatever his latest venture is, there's automatically going to be half of the people against it.
Yeah.
I just think it's great if historians looking back 500 years from now are going, well, what the hell are they thinking? So, but the other story out there, it is on the radical transgender movement. Nancy Pelosi says sex changes for trans kids is something she's working for at the national level.
They're fighting for this.
Yes. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said Thursday that sex changes for transgender children is something she's working on at the national level. Earlier in the day, Pelosi toured the San Francisco VA Medical Center to review health system upgrades, research initiatives, and according to a press release from her staff, the threat that House Republicans might slash core veteran services. Of course, they need to throw the paranoia out there. While speaking with reporters, she was asked how her office was responding to pauses to gender-affirming care in California. That's something I'm working on at the national level. We're hoping we can have gender-affirming care for our trans kids. These people are just so damn evil. There's no other word for it.
Yeah, and this is exactly what they've been doing for a long time, is fighting for this kind of grotesque behavior, and
Yeah.
when we said they're not done, this is further proof they're not done.
So you've got this story with Nancy Pelosi there saying we're going to go to the national level to protect children to have sex changes.
Protect children.
Protect children.
Protect children.
And then this story, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro drew sharp criticism after joining a lawsuit to block President Donald Trump from placing prohibitions on child gender surgery and criticizing supporters of a state Senate bill that would ban biological males from competing in girls' sports. He criticized supporters, women, to block Donald Trump from placing, and then criticized supporters of a state bill that would ban biological males from competing in girls' sports. Well, he just became the radical. He couldn't survive without doing that.
Yeah, right.
He said, I'm suing the Trump administration alongside 16 other states for threatening baseless civil investigations and criminal prosecutions against healthcare providers in Pennsylvania and trying to take medical decisions away from parents and local communities. He said the reason he's doing it, he said, the freedom to make healthcare decisions should be between parents, their children, and their doctor. I will not stand by while the federal government tries to infringe on the rights and freedoms of Pennsylvania families. Number one, we'll address that in a second. But there's Nancy Pelosi saying we want to federalize that children can do it.
Yeah.
By the way, hormone treatments for sex changes and removing body parts, sorry, this whole thing that the left is trying to say now, that's between the parents and their children. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's
No,
not.
it isn't.
If the state isn't going to protect their child from an insane parent, then somebody has to step in.
Yep.
If you want to do it when you're an adult, do whatever the hell you want. Stop taking your perversions, your absolute evil perversions, and putting it on children. My God.
Anybody who performs these surgeries on children should be in prison.
I agree.
Full stop.
I agree. So there's Josh Shapiro. So much for the moderate.
Right.
Oh, no, I want to protect her for the... No.
No.
Somebody said that the other day, too, and we went after them when they said, this is between the parents and their children. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's a decision that is made by no one until they become an adult.
Yeah. This is insanity.
Yep.
All out evil.
Yep. As evil as you can get. I'm telling you, I just, and they try to hide it in, that's the incredible thing. They try to hide it in compassion. Or Josh Shapiro's case, federalism. I want to protect the, shut up.
Gender affirming care.
Good God. By the way, that argument needs to be louder from the right. I know we know you've done, good on it, moving in the right direction, but you got to look right at these people, look at them in the eye and say, you're a bunch of evil perverts.
Yep.
That's what you are.
And you should all be in prison.
And you don't give a damn about the children at all.
Just
God.
Madness.
Oh.
Just madness.
It is. They're not going to back off on any of this. They are not going to back off on any of this at all.
Well, and you know that a number of them in the House races are going to be putting this in their ads or campaigning on the trail for this in 26. Now, it'll be in very safe districts, but it won't matter. We always say it doesn't matter that you're doing it in a very safe, very blue district or state. It reflects on the party and the direction of the party. I saw where the lieutenant governor in Georgia looking at running for office and switching parties to be a Democrat. I'm like, what in the world is wrong with you?
I saw that in the way he was generically trying to frame it, that he was because he's a moderate.
Right.
Oh my God!
He's going to be a hero.
Yeah.
Here's where you get your hero status for the 5 minutes that you talk about switching parties. That's it. The liberal activist media makes you the hero then, and then you're done. Switch parties. Now you got to take a stance on the issues. Where do you stand? On gender affirming care, Mr. Moderate.
Or you can just be totally generic and say, I stand with Jasmine.
That's right. It's not radical at all.
Just wondering, is she single, Eric?
Well, the thing is she is centered.
I'm single, and I'm in her district. I mean,
yeah, right.
Maybe we could get together and talk.
Yeah, it's another form of speed dating. It's going to be over very quickly. One of you is going to call security, and I can't tell you right now which one of you it's going to be.
Who's that guy slobbered over the bar drunk? Gary McNamara. He had a date with Jasmine Crockett. And
right.
It ended about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, after a Vulcan mind meld. Is that a drink? No, it actually was a Vulcan mind meld.
He did a Vulcan mind. Is that a new drink? No, he did a Vulcan mind meld.
Two Vulcan mind melds.
He wanted to get into her brain to find out how it worked.
Yeah. So, 2 Vulcan mind melds and a Coors Light chaser. Jeez, man.
Maybe we can come up with a Jasmine Crockett drink. Let's work on that over the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, well.
866-90-RED-EYE.
Coming up, more with Gary McNamara and Eric Harley. It's Red Eye Radio.
We are Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Well, the big international story this weekend, and you and I both said it when we discussed it earlier in the show, can't wait to come in Sunday night and Monday morning to see what the narrative is, especially from the Democrats on the left, about the decision by Israel to basically get rid of Hamas and take over the Gaza Strip. And then when that's done, ensure that a friendly Arab coalition is the one who governs it.
Yeah, it's because, there's no doubt in my mind we're going to hear something from the Democrats here stateside, but globally you're not hearing any pushback.
No, there's not really much globally overnight on it at all, was there?
No. So I think we'll probably start hearing from the Democrats sometime today. We'll see where it goes.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.